Okay, so I'll continue the recording.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, Sister Mara, you're a co-host. Brother DJ, you are a co-host. Sister Ada, you're a co-host. I might be cut off because I'm on a train. If that is the case, one of you take over until Brother Pigeon comes.
Okay.
Anyway,
just to say, I can't take over the recording because I'm actually on my phone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the recording will be a problem. I might be cut off, but not the recording.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because when I go through a tunnel, I will be cut off. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you lose signal.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that the recording will stop. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And when that happens, one of you just take over until one of us comes back. Okay. So what Brother David has stated in the chat, I'm just stating the nutshell of that. So that was the position, and that is what he's referring to. Okay. So that is that. Let me in that case share the page, the screen, because then the screen would have been lost to all of you. So let me share it. And this is a screen you were all reading. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
According to this notion, yeah.
Yeah. If I go through a tunnel and it goes off, I will come back and then once I'm back, I will re-put the page on the that page back on. I'll share it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Brother Pigeon is not back. Okay, so let's continue.
Brother Kwame, can you raise the page a little bit? We're right at the bottom of it.
Yeah, of course. Let me scroll down. Yeah.
Thank you. Stop. You're going too far. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just move.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let me do it again. Okay, I think that's okay.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Right. Okay. So so I just thought I will explain that. Let's carry on with our thoughts on the brother.
Yes,
brother
go
on.
Just for information.
Yeah.
When the screen is being shared, if you go to view option, the first option is zoom ratio, and you can increase whatever is being displayed. It's just a little technique. It's obviously better if the person sharing the screen has increased it, but if you just go to view option where it says sharing screen, you can increase the view for your own individual benefit, not for everybody else. Just a bit of information.
Is that clear, everyone? Yeah. Is that clear, everyone? Brother Cleroy is saying you can control your own screen and what you are seeing. Okay. All right. So let's continue with the sharing of our thoughts on that paragraph that we've read. So we've heard from, well, when I joined anyway, we had heard from Brother Carrington, our resident physicist. We had heard from Sister Ida. Sister Mara asked us to pass. We'll come back to her later. Brother DJ Mr. P asked us to David, who shared something very vital in the chat, which I have commented on.
Yeah, I think we're losing you, brother. You're going into the matrix.
Brother Kwame, we're losing you.
Oh, you're back. Are you back, Pigbin? Yeah, we're losing. Yeah, I think we lost him.
So in a nutshell, this what I've described, the
come back, Morpheus.
That will happen.
Brother Kwame, Brother Pigeon's back. You're not very clear, so maybe we should go to Brother Pigeon for now.
Yeah, we switch
okay,
back.
Okay, thank you. I've muted Brother Kwame.
Switch back to Neo.
I've muted Brother Kwame. Sorry that I'm having some power issues here. There's a blackout anyway. So thank you. As you were saying, yes, we've heard or listened to opinions or thinking shared by Brother Sister Myra shared her thinking. Sister Ida shared her thinking. Makema
Yeah.
shared
Can you hear me? Okay, you're back.
his
Hear
thinking.
me?
Yes, we can hear you, but not clear.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so let's get to Ambassador time.
Sorry. Before you carry on, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, now you're okay. Now you're okay.
I did say I'm on a train, so it will go on and off. So don't
Okay,
be
sorry for
surprised when
that.
it does. No, it's just part of life. So, Brother Pigeon, reshare the page, because if I share it again, it will go off. If you go off, I will come back and share. So the host has not gone back to you. So yeah, so you carry on and share the page, brother Pigeon. Share the page back on the screen. Just to conclude what I was saying, so in a nutshell, that was the heart of the Renaissance. Thank you. The heart of the Renaissance, in the sense that it was, as brother Carrington was explaining, it was a rediscovery of Greek knowledge. All the knowledge that had been lost over the Middle Ages. And I will stop there. Brother Pigeon, carry on.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if I'm too big. Let me reduce the font a bit. I think it's a bit clear. Everybody can see that.
Yeah, we can move it ourselves.
We can't see the whole. Yeah, okay. We can't
no,
see
we
the.
can't.
We can't see the
yeah,
full
we can.
page. Yeah, let's see the full paragraph.
Okay, I'm doing that.
And then you move it up slightly so we can see the whole paragraph. That's fine. Yeah, thank you.
Now let me reduce it a bit so that it can be visible. The whole. Is it a bit clear now?
It's fine. It's fine. We've lost the first bit, but it's okay.
Just come down a touch.
Yeah,
just come down about 3 lines. About 3 lines, Pigbin. Just scroll down about 3 lines.
Hello, can you?
Yeah, Pigbin, if you can scroll down about 3 lines, please. 3 or 4 lines, because I think that
Is it now okay?
according to the Notion paragraph. No. The size.
It's already.
There you go. Come down a bit more. Another line or 2. There we are.
That's it.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let's proceed. Sorry for the technical issues you are facing here, but let's proceed. DJ Mr. P, did you share your thinking?
He's coming back. He's coming back.
No, I didn't. But you can save me till last if you want.
Okay. Okay, thank you. But if you're ready, just let me know. We have.
Okay. I mean, I can tell you what I've got so far, and it's actually sorry.
Can you proceed?
Thank you. What I've got so far is actually a combination of what our new member tonight, I think, is it David, has shared, and also is it Ida as well? Yeah, the lady. Yes, I think it's Ida. And as I was reading it, what I was thinking, it's funny, but what I was actually thinking was how things have progressed and developed. Because back in the day, in those times, it was religion and the church that was in charge. And if you said anything against the church, they'll burn you alive. Yeah. But as things progressed and you had the scientists that could prove, because I remember that Italian guy, not Galileo, there's an Italian guy, Marconi. When Marconi said that he could send invisible messages through the air, they said he was insane. And he was actually talking about radio waves, which, as we know nowadays, is an everyday occurrence. I mean, we're using radio waves not right now, to have this Zoom session. So how things have developed and moved was really down to science, where logic and fact could override the religious beliefs that had been keeping the country going for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So that's what I got so far out of the document. And yeah, it's just really a development and progression of science from religion into science taking the front seat, and religion having to either sit beside science or behind science. And that's what I got.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's get to okay, Raymond Mpaire. Raymond?
Yes, please. Good evening. Good evening from Uganda. Thank you for all the thoughts shared. My name is Raymond Mpaire. I'm very, very new. This is my first session, just like Brother David. And thanks for all the contributions. So, according to my reading of this paragraph, I actually have, I know the lines of thought shared have been in concert at most of the points. You know, they're in agreement here, there, and I don't know much about the European Renaissance and about Kant and Leibniz, but from the small reading of this paragraph that begins with according to this notion of philosophy, I think the author is trying to, in this very first paragraph, because you see it proceeds, it is subsequent to the paragraph on suitably. So suitably, therefore, the chief concern of philosophy continued to be an elucidation of the nature of God, the human soul, of human freedom, and of kindred concepts. And he's saying that according to that nature of philosophy, he uses words like the rise of rationalism. He uses words like there was a growing attempt to identify what could be with what could be known. So what could be known, rationalism. In this way, the limits of human understanding came to be identified by the limits of nature. I believe what the author is trying to express in this paragraph is the conception of the philosophical conception of how the world operates through what the mind knows, rationally thinking, conceiving because of the society you are in, what you think you know, then applying human understanding and it being identified with the limits of nature. I really think that the author is trying to point us to the exercise of independent thought by free-thinking human beings under this notion of philosophy. That is my thought. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Brother Kwame, do you want to come in? Okay. Let me get to...
No, not yet. You continue.
Okay.
When you
Okay.
want
Okay, your audio is still not clear. Okay. Okay. Comrade Talal Nayer, do you kindly share your thinking?
Sure. Hello, my name is Talal Nayer, and I am Sudanese living in Germany. And I'm very happy for being here with you. I get an invitation very late from a friend of the group, Dr. Muhammad Jalal Hashim, and I am very glad to be here with you. I would like maybe to share some ideas and thoughts, maybe because I came a little bit late, but related to the context of the conversation, I can say that this conflict, or let's say competition between science and religion, it is much wider and much older also than Middle Age Christianity. I can give, for example, other examples about this conflict between science and religion in Islam. There are some philosophers and scientists in Islam, like Ibn Sina, if you are familiar with this name. He had some opinions about science that conflicted and contradicted the mainstream narrative of Islam. And it's happened because of his opinion. It is like Galileo. He had been threatened and he had been accused that he's heretic and so on. And I can give another example also in another context. It related to the Ottoman Empire. It's in now current Turkey. It's happened at the time when Europe was emerging from the Middle Ages. Johann Gutenberg, this is the one who invented the printer. One of the first options for him to market his machine is for the Ottoman Empire. But because of this conflict between religion and science, the religious authority in the Ottoman Empire, they said, or they give an advice to the Sultan. This is like the king of the empire, that he need to reject this because this innovation came from non-Muslim country or from non-Muslims, and it is forbidden, haram, to accept it. And one of the first impacts of this, it was the deterioration and also the isolation of science in what we can call it Islamic world, and what is now happening, for example, at the time in the Renaissance. So this is what I can say in hurry. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and feel most welcome. Yeah, Brother Jalal is part of our class, and we appreciate your presence today. So keep coming. Thank you very much. We will, if you like to us to get in touch directly with you, please share your contact directly with me or in the chat so that I can add you to our broadcast list and our group. Yeah, let's get to Ambassador Sim. The name is disappearing. Sims. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Ambassador, please share your thinking with us and feel most welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this consciousness class. I am Ambassador Simpson Yajo, a Sierra Leonean and a Pan-Africanist. In my thinking and what I have heard various speakers explain pertinent to the studies for today, I think it is related in different diversities, talking about religion, talking about science, talking about philosophy, and talking about God, looking at it, that it's all set around the mindset that an individual have on his own. What you think is what you can see, is what you can do from what I've got. I don't have much to say because today is my first session of this class. I just want to give a brief on that. And I'm not using my laptop due to power outage in the city presently. I'm using my phone, so I'm not even seeing the script properly. But that is my idea, and that is my thinking about what others have shared, others have said about the consciousness class today. I thank you very much, and I hope continuing this class to have more ideas and I can contribute later better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador, and feel most welcome. To the members who have joined us now, because I know majority have joined us now, feel most welcome. And we are reading the paragraph on the screen. And for the purpose of you also to contribute, permit me just to reread the paragraph we are doing. We are reading now, and I ask you to share your thinking. So please, if you haven't got a chance to read with me, it's a paragraph that starts with the word according. But prior to this paragraph, of course, as you can see, we had discussed some few concepts behind here, as you can see, starting with the philosophy. But now, permit me to read it slowly as you also try to internalize and create your thinking. I believe even those who haven't spoken can be able to now understand it slowly. So read it slowly, try to actually feel and have, after this reading, you can be able to share something with us. Basically, what you're asking, what is your thinking? What is your understanding? Or what do you think the paragraph is talking about? So let me read it again. Prior to this, we start with the paragraph above. Let me start by saying the paragraph starting with suitably. Therefore, the chief concern of philosophy continued to be an elucidation of the nature of God, of the human soul, of human freedom, and kindred concepts. According, now this is where our paragraph of discussion today is. This paragraph starting with the word, according to this notion of philosophy, when the primary concerns of human life are differently conceived, philosophy reveals a different bias. And as a society becomes differently organized, philosophy is differently conceived. During the European Renaissance, when man became the center of the universe, the human mind and the ways in which it might fix the limits of what is real became the chief topic of philosophy. There was growing attempt to identify what could be with what could be known. And this tendency later attained its subtlest and most definitive statement in the critical philosophy of Kant. The rise of rationalism was indeed one whole stream of thought which kept reality firmly within the light of human reason. Until in the writing of Leibniz, processes came to be mere analogous in nature of logical relations. In this way, the limits of human understanding came to be identified with the limits of nature. This idea survives today in the notion that logically there are no mysteries, that to every question there's an answer, and that there is nothing on earth, beneath the waters, or in heavens above, which is in principle unknowable. So let me proceed to other members who have not shared their thinking, and anybody who feel to want to share their thinking, feel free to come in. Welcome, Brother Coco, Sister Nyagudi, Brother Kwame. You can remember Sister Nyagudi is back. Welcome. So let's go to Brother Isaac Kwabwena. Can you share your thinking with us, comrade?
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Pippen, my dear brother, who is in the course of doing some nothing and helping each other, want to bring up informed society. I just joined just shortly, but looking at what has been said, I just feel what I'll add to this is that it needs to be a strong, independent.
The serious echo, brother Kwabwena. The serious echo in your background, so we can't hear you well. The serious echo in your background. Can you work on it and then you can come back? There's a lot of echo in your background. Please.
Okay. Is it fine now?
That's better now. Yeah, that's better.
Okay,
yeah.
fine. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you, Brother Pickben. I'm very glad to be part of this dialogue, and I just joined shortly. But with what I've heard and following what has gone through, I feel even though we've gone through the age of enlightenment, there still must be that form of interdependence between the church and the empirical stage, the scientific stage, the new stage, the modern stage, the modernized stage we are in. Because the same church who debunks scientists who debunks rational thinking are the same people who, at the end of the day, they all use end works and the end products of the scientific nature. So they're supposed to be, and of course, they have also begun from a perspective, and we all need to collate together with ourselves for the betterment of the society. There's simply an acceleration and evolvement. There's a transition, and from the religious, and we've gotten to a new level, which is very essential, and we need to be able to interrelate in this era. When you just look at something like the Munich conference, whereby there was a conflict between the Catholics and the Protestants, which led to various wars, it's just because people want to be dominant, and the church has evolved into that system whereby they want to be dominant, they want to be the superior entity, and they want to control things. But the society is meant to be in a way whereby there's supposed to be a form of interrelation. And in this, if we can come into the new age of rational thinking, whereby indeed we are able to see the beauty of empiricity through scientists who are doing great things, that's also a new transition of the church, whereby there can be new ways of curing disease, whereby there are chemicals used to cure diseases, used to bring forth new technological devices. We can be able to live in a very good society where coupled with moral thinking and rational thinking. So I just joined quickly, just shortly, but this order I've just been able to insinuate, and I'm very humbled to be part of this dialogue. Thank you.
Well, feel most welcome. Brother Kwabena runs the Voices of Africa, or African Voices. Remind me.
Yes, African Voices International.
African Voices International. And we had a session with him some time back, like a week ago, in his program. So feel most welcome, and we are happy to have you around. Thank you for sharing your thinking. Let me go to Brother Gleroy. Did you say you are able to share your thinking, Brother Gleroy?
No, what I said is my joining was late, and therefore I'm listening. I'll see at the end or near the end how I am. But no, I'm not fully informed the discussion. Okay. So I'm just listening.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's go to Brother Koko, then Sister Nyagudi.
Revolutionary greetings to all of you, comrades, tonight. I'm humbled to be in presence of all of you. Brother Kwabena, even though I don't come from Ghana, I was also born on Tuesday, so which means I have a right to call myself Kwabena. What we are reading tonight about our great leader, Papa Nkrumah, he is pulling apart what philosophy is all about. Let's not forget what philosophy is. Philosophy is a study of what is, and that what is, how did it come about? So he is taking us back to the beginning of how philosophy was then used to sort of support religion, or how religion in a way used philosophy to accelerate its growth, because people then ended up being caught up into what is just came about of God or of religion, of stuff which we cannot know about. But what he then says here is that the age of rationalism, or the age of European Renaissance, led to people starting to think about the human mind, the knowledge that man can bring to the table, or the limits of human intelligence, and then realizing that, you know what, there cannot be any limits. We cannot say there are stuff that are unknowable. We can continue asking questions until we get to the answers, and that is the essence. But importantly here, let me pick up where he says philosophy is differently conceived depending on how society is organized. So different societies, the way they are organized, it leads to a different philosophy. In the same sense, that's why we have African philosophy. I think I've seen some writers calling that Africana philosophy, is African philosophy, is Ubuntu, is Ma'at, is African spirituality, which has been a foundation of who the Africans are. Welcoming, compassionate, looking after each other, that communalistic way of looking after each other it wells within us, is the way we are organized. Then the trick here is that, you see, most of us in Africa, we have been turned around or turned out of ourselves into different people, because we have been Europeanized or Europeified, or however you call it. So in that sense, everything for us, it becomes more in relation to what Europe has said, or what Europe has done before, or what Europe has written about us. I think what he is trying to do here is to tickle us, to make us think deeper, to say, you are Africans, you are structured different. Think about it carefully. And I think, let me take you back to what Kwame said in the last meeting I was here, when he said, I let go of economics. I gave up economics because the economics I was taught, I thought it was just crazy. We were just being indoctrinated to defend capitalism. And it's a fact, because capitalism, it worked for those people who build money, who build capital out of cheap labor, and then managed to trick everyone to think socialism or communism doesn't work. It's only capitalism that works, because they spend money, lots and lots of money, to make people think that way. But this is about the structure. It's about the structure. They had, what do you call it, the hierarchy. It's a hierarchical system. Capitalism, it's like that. There is a lord, and then there are serfs at the bottom, and that is that. But if you come to Africa, you find it's a flat system, normally or generally a flat system. And I don't know if there are any Igbos brothers in here. They will tell you they didn't even have a king at the time. It was relatively a flat system where we, interacted on equal levels everywhere. Then again, when you take hierarchical system and implement within a flat system, you make a mess. We as Africans have to get out of that matrix. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Coco. Let's move to Sister Nyagudi. Greetings.
Greetings. Thank you,
Yes.
and shalom.
It's been long.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
I appreciate, Sister Nyagudi, the project you people are doing in Laikipia. I think it's good to mention that you are doing something on Ubuntu with a group of Ubuntu family, trying to create like a center. Is that right?
yes, that's right.
Yeah. We will see how we get in touch further on this, but I appreciate the efforts you're making.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Kalisha, you're thinking with us.
Okay. I want to be thankful for this opportunity to be here on this day. And it's really great, this spirit of consensusism by Kwame Nkrumah is still ongoing. I was just checking somewhere about consensusism, and I read that it aligns the concept of Leninism and the concept of Marxism. I think we all know about the Karl Marx theory and the way he talks about, is against the capitalistic kind of a society into more of a communal kind of a society. And I think it's a very great thing that Kwame Nkrumah was trying to teach the people. So when I read this statement here on the screen, it aligns with the with the concept that like when it's talking about how when an ideology, when people get organized, their philosophies and ideologies tend to change, the understanding becomes a little different. And I think it is what we are trying to build in the community, because we are trying to be organized and have these kind of a consensusism philosophy going on amongst us. So that's my take on all these.
Okay, Phil, most welcome. Thank you. And we appreciate your presence. We hope you'll be joining us more frequently so that we can move on together as well. So thank you. Brother Joseph, greetings. How are you? And kindly share with us your
Yeah, I joined late because I totally got tied up with the time. I was doing some other stuff. In fact, and I had another.
Brother Joseph, your network is poor.
Huh? Are you hearing me properly now?
Your network is some problem. You are better.
Okay. I was saying that I had a few things doing, and I got, because I didn't know I'm preparing for a major webinar, and then I had other webinar, and I got caught up with the timing. You know, we have been accustomed with 3 o'clock my time, so I mistakenly thinking it's 3 o'clock, and an hour have gone. But nonetheless, I think first of all, it should be probably a little. If you didn't do it, probably tell us who was Kant, and of course Immanuel Kant we're talking about, and who was Leibniz. So people have a little appreciation. But the question before us today is: do we understand the evolution of society and implicitly the philosophy which have guided us from the dawn of creation? You know, there are 2 African proverbs I want to enter into the discourse. One says, and by the way, forgive me, I can't remember which part on the continent it comes from. But one says, not to know, or not to know is bad, but not to want to know is worse. Not to know is bad, but not to want to know is worse. And the other one says, he who asks questions cannot avoid the answer. And I want to link it with what I've been read there. We can know anything we need to know that is important to us. And you can see it in the evolution of gadgets and other instruments that 20 years ago, 30 years, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, there are people who would have said those things are impossible when it was spoken about. So everything we need to know is knowable, and there's no mystery. There's no philosophy. I mean, there's no miracle. So everything is in order. The universe is a living, conscious, whatever it is, and we are part of it. So I think the mistake that was made is when the Europeans separate the element of call it spirit, when they separate it and make it, dichotomous, which I'm glad that Kwame have been able to show that. I mean, there is an intrinsic connection between matter and anything other than matter, or matter being the primary source or cause. So I hope I've made sense. Basically, it says. Also, let me say, when I taught social studies, one of the things that was coming to mind I remember is that in the history or in the evolution of human beings create the institution evolved and to meet the particular need at a particular time. But when that need is met, over time, new institution, because new questions are asked, new questions are asked, and new answer comes. So it can be explained how we came from where we came and where we're going, if we really seek to clarify our minds from all the confusion that has been imposed on us. I hope I've made sense the most. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elder Joseph. I think we had come across rationalism and empiricism. Sometimes back, who is trying to speak? Brother, come in, audible. Brother, come here. Still not that audible clear. Kindly work on your network a bit to be stable a bit. But you can come in anytime and just go ahead. But I wanted to say that, yes, try.
Sorry, can I?
Now you're good. Now you're good to
sorry,
go.
can I come in now?
Yeah. Now you're audible. Proceed.
Is that okay? Yeah. Can you? Good. Can you hear me? Am I clear
Yes.
now? Am I clear?
Yes, you're clear. Yes.
Am I clear? Yes. Yeah. Very sorry. I'm on a train, so it's. I'll say a few things in 4 minutes, and then I'll speak later. What I want to say is that the essential point of this paragraph, what it's telling us, is that the philosophy that a society or a group adheres to is a reflection of their material conditions. So the material conditions of life, of existence, of man's existence, is that which is reflected in their philosophical perspective of life. So in the past, when the cultivation of the land, along with prayers of the land, where there was no, if you like, scientific knowledge as we have now, and if you wanted rain, you will have to pray or depend on the gods. That kind of existence is what was reflected in the philosophy of that time. And the philosophy, as we all know now, is a religious philosophy where you prayed to God, but you were not qualified to speak to God. You have to speak to God through a priesthood, a hierarchy, and then they will speak to God on your behalf because you are not even qualified to speak to God. So essentially, the material conditions of life are what are reflected in the philosophy of that age. So that is what this is saying. So when the material conditions of life began to change, it was reflected in the way that life was conceived. Now, the essential thing then for us in this paragraph is to ask ourselves, what are the conditions of life of the African today? Yeah, what are our conditions of existence? Yeah, that's the key thing. And what is it that we want from this existence? And it is this existence and what we want from it that is going to then define the philosophy that we think we need. Let's remember that the title of this paragraph, this chapter, is Philosophy and Society. Every society has its philosophy of life, right? Although we know broadly that there are only two philosophies, idealism and materialism. Okay, so that is the central question which we should be asking ourselves. What is the kind of society we want as Africans? Our current existence, what do we want? And depending on what we think we want, then our question is, what philosophy must guide that to enable us achieve the kind of things we want for our existence? I'll stop there for now. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was going to say that when you looked at idealism sometimes back, we came across, of course, the aspect of rationalism and empiricism. When we went along with the materialism, actually two conceptual tools came in, logical and scientific. So logics was brought in and scientific aspect, which idealism did not embrace science or that aspect. So there were logical tools like there's the reductionism, constructionism, and realism. I think it was realism, nominalism, which talks about the realities. And they're coming up here again with the concept of the state. It was nominalism. Yes, Brother Kwame. It was the constructionism, reductionism, and nominalism. And actually accompanied with
Yes,
now
that's correct.
Yeah, so when logical aspect is coming back again here, it rings back to my mind on the logical conceptual truth we came across. But permit me to somebody had asked Brother Kwame if you can explain Kant and Leibniz. Who are they?
So the three.
Can we proceed?
Well, Kant was a Scottish philosopher, and I'm saying Kant. Kant was a Scottish philosopher, and he was an idealist basically, and he was, if you like, the father of rationalism. Kant
We've lost you again.
Yeah, we lost you, brother. We lost you.
believe that it is reasoning as in ideas, the power of ideas. So Kant is not a racist because of the things he said about Africans. So that's what he is. Leibniz, as Brother
Sorry,
Carrington
did you say
reminded
he
us,
was or wasn't a racist?
he was a racist because of the things he had racist views about Africans. Now Leibniz is he was French, and Godfrey, he was a mathematician and a philosopher, and yeah, so that's it. There's a lot more to say. Had a quarrel with Isaac Newton over who invented what and so on and so forth. But yeah, so yeah, that is it. And anything else you want me to?
It's okay. It's okay. So let me share my thinking a bit before we proceed. And welcome, Brother Gonza, and also Comrade Dr. Naftali Maha. Feel most welcome. Basically, from my understanding, is that this text is trying actually to tell us that philosophy had tried to understand the universe and remember and the human mind. So basically, that's what I'm doing here, and how it has influenced our understanding of reality. So how is the universe and our human mind has influenced our understanding of what is real? Reality, which actually nominalism as a logical tool, conceptual tool, embrace. What is reality? And philosophers have been trying actually to figure out what can be known and whether what we know can tell us anything about what exists in reality. So what we know, can it really tell us the reality of what exists? And this is part of the aspects or the things I'm trying to get from here. And my understanding again as I move along it that we are now coming with this philosopher, of course, as Brother Kwame said. One is Kant, that's trying to argue that there are limits to what we know based on our own understanding. And that's why Brother Kwame said he was an idealist, because idealists believe in ideas and spirituality and maybe God and the rest. And this concept that God is the one who knows all, and us as human beings, we cannot know everything. It's only God who knows everything. So it brings this aspect that there's limits of what you can understand. But Leibniz, as Brother Kwame said also, believe that everything in nature could be understood through logical relations. Logical relations. Everything. There's nothing that most of us do say that, oh, I don't know, maybe that's God. No, oh, that is supernatural. It's only the power of God. But Leibniz is saying that everything here can be explained through logical relations. And using logical tools like constructionism, reductionism, or nominalism, we can be able to explain everything. Like, for example, we can be able to explain how Africa came to be where it is. Now, we can construct that, maybe basing all history to where we are today. And we can also reduce this using reductionism to where all these problems started from, where we are today. You see? And we can still also check on the reality of African context. So there's nothing like we are limited to understand where we are as a people, or where we've come from, or what has happened. There's no limit to that. So this is what the logical aspect and what actual materialism is trying to explain, that there's no limit to what we can understand as a people. But these ideas have also led to some people today, actually, according to my understanding, to believe that there are no mysteries or unknown things left in the world. For example, most of us tend to believe in spiritual aspect or that idealism, that if something bad happens to the society, you'll be, oh, that is God's hand, that's witchcraft, we cannot know really what happened. You see, that's the concept we've been used to. Until today, you see most of our leaders will say that if there's corruption or underdevelopment in our countries, will say, let's pray to God so that he might intervene. We don't know what might go on. This is what is the reality. Some of us Africans are saying, oh, our problems or our solutions for African issues may never be solved. We don't know what really happened. But if we take into serious consideration and look deep into this, we can explain where we are. We can explain everything that happens to Africa, to we as a people, as a society, to where we are as an African society, and how we can get out of this. There's no excuse of us not understanding or us not actually acting properly to solve the problems we have as a people. So as you can see, that every question has an answer if we look hard in enough. If we ask the question, why are our people in this state of life? Why our African government either failed or corrupt, or people of Africa, despite of the minerals we have, are poor? If we look deep, we can find the answer. But majority of us are not ready to look deep into this to understand the reality. We will say, oh, that's the Western Empire and end there. How deep have they influenced us? So we have to go deep enough to understand everything else in order to come up with a solution. But to conclude, this way of thinking, of course, suggests that even things like outer space or deep oceans can eventually be fully understood by humans, using the logics and reason. So this is what really I'm understanding out of this concept. And I think to us is a call to us that we as a people must really deeply look into our society, understand it properly, and come up with the right solution for our problems as a people. So, there's noise on your background, but you can see.
Yeah, there is. I'm in the train, so it's a lot of noise. But please tell me if it's too much. I will stop talking. Yeah,
No,
yeah, Brother Pigeon. Yes. Some have said there are no mysteries, but our acknowledgement that there are no mysteries, that we can eventually understand everything, that the universe is in principle knowable, as you acknowledge, and as Brother Carrington can explain further using physics. It doesn't mean that we currently understand everything. That's number one. And it doesn't also mean that even with the physical world that we understand enough. If you take, for instance, the thing called dark matter. Yeah. Now, dark matter constitutes at least 80% of our universe. Yeah, the very universe we've been discussing in chapter 1. Yeah, in terms of the inside, outside thesis, and so on. However, as we speak, nobody really understands what dark matter is, right? And the part of the universe that physics understands is a very small part of our universe. So we can say that. So if we say, for instance, that God is a mystery, if idealists say that, well, have you ever met God? Do you know who God is? Have you ever met him or her? Is he or she, is he a he, or is she a he, or is she a she, or is he both male and female? Because he created man and woman, so he must be both, and so on and so forth. If you are asking all these deep questions, at the end of the day, there is a point at which it is a mystery. Although we hope that we'll understand everything, it does not mean, in terms of the universe, I must add, it doesn't mean that therefore, either we understand it now or that we will ever understand it. But that is the hope. Now, returning to the application of this thinking to our situation as Africans, and that's what you've said. Why is it that majority of women on the African continent are dominated by men, are dominated by the society in which they live? How come they don't have access to the kind of resources that men have access to? What is the cause of that? Okay, what is the cause? Why is it that our diamonds are not being used in order to advance the life of the ordinary African? Why is it that the kind of government we have is not delivering the welfare goods that the majority of Africans need? Because we believe that the welfare of the people is a supreme law. So why is it that the welfare of our people is not currently the supreme law? Why is it that Pan-Africanists who have a passion for the transformation of our continent. Why is it that they are not in office? Why? You understand? Now, if you ask these questions, yes, it's possible to get answers to them. Okay, and that is the point I'm saying of this paragraph. The kind of society we want must in itself tell us the kind of philosophy that we want, because we cannot use liberal philosophy to transform Africa. We cannot use conservative philosophy to transform Africa. Okay, we cannot use purely Marxist philosophy, which is Eurocentric, to transform Africa. If we want the Africa that we want as Africans, then we have to look at the material conditions of our existence and come up with a philosophy.
We are listening you, Brother Kwame.
That will enable us to do the kind of things we want. So if we want to unite, I'll continue. If you lose me, you lose me. So if continent unite want as Africans, then we have to come up with a philosophy that will enable us to do that. And that is the essential thing, the philosophy you have, society that you want. You cannot achieve a society, a different society from the one you have now, if you are holding on to the philosophy that created the society in which you exist right now. The society in which you exist right now reflects the philosophy that is right now. If you want a different society, you cannot depend on the current philosophy to do that. You need a new philosophy. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Elder Gleroy.
Thank you. As I said, I'm listening more, but I've just been triggered to ask or to make a small contribution, because I think when we speak about Pan-Africanists, we must remember there are varying degrees of people who genuinely call themselves Pan-Africanists, but appear not to have grasped the global aspect of Pan-Africanism, and indeed can see themselves as being Pan-Africanists in regions and a European designated nation. But I wanted to pose a question to the suggestion that we can learn, or we can understand everything. And I think on the surface, I would believe that. But I think the question is that, are there some things that we could recognize would not be easily understood because of where we are? I mean, for example, the effect of a supernova. Until our sun goes supernova, we can only speculate about the effect and what that situation would bring. And you know, there are other things that we can think of that happens in other parts of the universe that are not happening here, and therefore our understanding of that is limited. So I wonder if it's right that we should say we can understand everything. I'm not disagreeing with it, but I'm cautiously asking, is that really a truism? But yeah, just to return to my thing on Pan-Africanism, as a Pan-Africanist, I realize there are people who do not see Pan-Africanism in the same way. And we are, I think, moving to a point where we could identify right-wingers within our Pan-Africanist structure. And that's a worrying aspect, but one that we must face up to. Thank you, Comrade Pigeon.
Thank you. Brother Kwame, do you want to come in? Because basically, I'm trying to see 2 points here. One,
Yes, brother. I think brother Glenroy has emphasized again the point I was making, which is that can we really know everything? You know, can we? I mean, it may be something to be guided by, but let's be realistic, you know, and so on. Yeah, thank you.
So I'm hearing the word realistic, which is also being shared here. So basically, some of us here still borrow the idea of Kant that not everything, we have limits of understanding. Well, Levin is saying there's no limit of understanding. So basically we are in between, either accepting that yes, there are limits of understanding, therefore we borrow the Kant philosophy, which gives the limit of understanding. Then what?
Yes, but hold on. Yeah, but hold, Brother Pigeon, you see, that notion is saying that if you are going to depend on the human reasoning, yeah, if you are saying that human reasoning is the basis of all knowledge, if that is your position, then the point is that the limit to that will be your own reasoning. Does that make sense? If reasoning is the basis, then that means that what you know will be limited by your capacity to reason. That is the point there. So you can have three different people all reasoning, but people reason differently sometimes. So the limit to understanding is going to be on the capacity to reason. Now remember that empiricism does not accept that kind of thinking as the basis of knowledge. Empiricism says that the avenue to knowledge is your experience. But now here is the problem. How are we going to experience what it means to live on Mars? Yeah, we have never lived on the sun. How are you going to live on the sun? How are we going to experience that? You can't. There are things we can never experience as human beings because of the nature, our nature as human beings. You understand? There are planets that are billions of miles away from us. How are we going to experience them? You understand? So there are limits to experience. So I think that's what we are saying. So I just want to end there for now. Thank you. Brother Pigeon?
Where's Pigman?
Oh, I think he's been
Has he fallen off?
He's off, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I'll share the page
Joseph
again
has his
until
hand
he
up.
comes back. Let me share the page until he comes back.
Yeah, we've lost him. Yeah.
Let me share the page, and then when he comes back. The time is 12 to 9. So, right. Yeah, so I'm just going to the page we're on.
Brother Joseph has his hand up.
Yeah, Brother Joseph, yeah, carry on and speak. I'm trying to find the page at the moment. You go on and speak.
Yeah, with in against the backdrop of all that has been said, I want to pose a question.
Brother Joseph, before you continue, can you see my page? Is my page visible?
Yes.
I mean,
all right. No, it's gone now. It's gone now, but it was there. It was there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Give me a moment. Yeah, brother, continue.
Brother Kwame, let me just share.
Yeah.
Let me just share.
It's okay. It's on the screen already. It's okay.
Yeah, I was saying against the backdrop of what has been said. So, I mean, in the latest discourse, I would ask the question: is it necessary to want to know everything, even though it is probable that we could know? I mean, everything could be known. Everything can be known if you apply certain questions. I do agree that rationality is not the solution in finding out everything. And in some way, it's being taken too far. So the other question is, and I think we need to distinguish between experience and intelligence. As you know, Howard Gardner, an educator in the United States, discovered that there are certain, I think, 8 kind of intelligence and maybe 9. And he have also come up with 6 kind of mindset or something else. So as we go along, we discover certain aspects that previous generation or others didn't know. But as we continue to ask questions, the answers come and will come. But the question is, do we need to know all that need to be known, all that could be known at this point in time, or should we just endeavor knowing what is practical and what is helpful and useful for our time?
Yeah,
In
brother
Raymond
hold on. Yeah, hold on. Brother Joseph, good question. Now, I think what we should say is that the answer is yes, as far as what we as Africans want is concerned, not in terms of the universe broadly, but in terms of the kind of society we want to build. So, depending on what we want as a people, then we need to know everything there is to know in order to achieve that. Because if we don't know what needs to be known in terms of nominalism here, yeah, then it means we will not be able to define the problem correctly. And if you want to solve a problem which you don't define correctly, you will not solve it. So the answer is yes and no. Yes, in terms of what it is we want to achieve as Africans. No, in terms of the wider universe. Thank you. I think I will stop there.
Brother Raymond also had a question in the chat about almost like what Brother Joseph just said. Let me get what his question was. His question was, how can we reach a harmonized sort of philosophy, given our very diverse and numerous regional and cultural contexts?
Yes, the answer to that is in chapter 4 of Constantism. That's the answer. That's what the answer is. Because remember that the first chapter is asking us to look at philosophy and the legacy and what we have inherited. This second paragraph is pointing us to the importance of the relationship between philosophy and society in the way I've explained it. Chapter 3 will look at society and ideology. Then this question, this chapter is saying to us, Nkrumah is saying to us, so we've looked at philosophy in the past. What is the relationship between society and philosophy? We need to know. After that, the next chapter will say, what is the relationship between ideology and society? Because remember, the question that we are trying to answer at the end of the day is, we want to transform Africa, but what philosophy and ideology do we need? That is what we are trying to answer. So once you've looked at those relationships, you are then in a position to say, this is the philosophy we need. This is the ideology we need. So the question that you've raised, Sister Ida, is what has been asked. The answer for that, if the brother wants to go ahead of us, is to read chapter 4. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Tommy. Brother Carrington, did you share your thinking? Your hand was up. I was not sure.
Yes, I already shared my thinking. I just wanted to point out that I think we will come to discuss this in later paragraphs, that the point is that there is a limit to rational thinking, using rational thinking to know everything, and therefore some sort of unhealthy balance between empiricism and rationalism is needed to make progress, right? And this unhealthy balance, we are not sure it can take us to the edges of knowledge. Yeah. So, yeah.
Good one. Thank you.
Okay. So I think to me, the biggest question still is about, as Brother Kwame has said it, that is about the mind. The knowledge you can have is based on your mind. And I don't think when you're talking of infinity versus whatever, whether there's infinity of understanding or whatever, whether your mind is controlling some level, I don't think it's so. It's based on your ability to think. So you can make limits, but you can also overcome the limits. So the limits are what you can make. And basically, as I get this idea, that Levin is saying that in this way, the limits of human understanding came to be identified with limits of nature. So your understanding can only be limited with the limits of nature. Then this idea survives today in the notion that logically, there are no mysteries. That to every question, there's an answer. That there's nothing on earth beneath the water or in heavens above, which is in principle unknowledgeable. Brother Carrington, we are come up as we I see your hand is up.
Yeah, exactly agreeing with you. just with the addition that I am not trying to impeach the methods of rationality and empiricism. My work is based on a belief that these things work, but the idea is that how do we balance and play the two effectively? That is the ultimate question. How do we balance and play the two effectively? If you follow empiricism completely, there are only black and white cows in my grandfather's homestead, for example. And the moment I see a brown cow, I should run away. Because I don't understand enough about cows to understand what a strange cow it is, and to know that brown cows are not even strange for that matter. You see, so a balance between your prior knowledge, your logical system, and empiricism is the healthiest, but as is not perfect. That is the idea, because we do not want to move from a perfect system of religion to enter another perfect system of religious science. We want to always interrogate our methods and our understanding. That's the rough idea.
Okay, now to build on what you've just said, Brother Carrington. Now, so what Brother Carrington is drawing our attention in terms of the unhealthy balance. Let's remember our position in consensusism. Our position in consensusism is that we don't accept the hardcore idealists, yeah, who say that everything is spirit, everything is mind. And we don't accept the hardcore materialists who say everything is matter. Our position is that matter is the primary origin of everything, but everything in the universe is not matter. Yeah. Yes, there is something called spirit. Yes, it exists. There is something called mind. You know, we can't wish it away. It's there. So if that is the case, then it means that in coming up with our philosophy, we must take a position, and this is where Brother Carrington is drawing attention to. You can call it an unhealthy balance, in the sense that you now have to balance idealism and what? And materialism. You have to. You know, you can't just write off the millions of people who pray and say, well, they don't know what they are talking about. They are stupid. We now forget about them. They are idiots. You know, you can't just dismiss human beings like that. You understand? You know, that, oh, don't worry. You know, and then on the other hand, we can't just put our faith, our whole destiny in the hands of people who we now know want to create artificial intelligence entities that they want to use to control the world. We can't have that. We can't just put our faith in these people. You see, so this is where, as Brother Carrington is reminded, this is where the balance comes in. As to whether it is healthy or unhealthy is something we have to decide as Africans.
Yeah. Oh, unhealthy just to mean that these forces are in opposition. They are in opposition. So if you're not careful, the likelihood of slipping is easy.
Precisely. Yeah.
High.
Precisely.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. We are dealing with the dialectics.
Exactly.
We are not dealing with one force. We are dealing with different forces here. We're dealing with negative and positive forces. Just a reminder, we are 1 minute to our time. I've shared the link for our WhatsApp group for the new members in the chat. So kindly, before the meeting is over, if you wish to join us to our WhatsApp, this is the only opportunity we share our WhatsApp link. We don't share it frequently, only to people who attend our class, and that's our rule. You only get our link in this meeting. So please, if you want to join our class, there's a link in our WhatsApp group. Please type to that. I've also shared the book in the chat list. So if you don't have this copy of this book, please just download it before we end. I want to say that basically, we, and remind us, we are not the hardcore materialist or hardcore idealist. So we are trying to do the balance, which is here, because we are the center. We accept the both spirits and materialism, but actually give fact that we depend on materialism before we actually arrive at spirits, which can be either through categorical conversion or other categories of materialism. So we are at the balance. We are not so anti-spirits or anti-materialism. And that's a good reminder for us to know that somebody was asking, why are we discussing God here? Actually, we are reading the book of Common Chrome, and we are reading it paragraph per paragraph. So we are trying to relate to it to our current context. Somebody says they're almost 59 years old. It's still relevant because we find it very relevant, and some people find this information very new. So before we end our class, I'd like to say, Brother Kwame, do you have anything before we end?
No, I'm fine, thanks. Just
Okay,
make the
thank you.
announcements in terms of next week, yeah. In terms of Saturday,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, thank you. We will actually share the topic of Saturday probably tomorrow morning, and there are some other suggestions that came before because we finished the Haiti one, and we have set up a technical working group that I think is still recruiting more members so that we can start the action by next week. And we are looking forward to this Saturday, which we will discuss and share the link to those who will be available to tell them the topic of the Saturday. Apart from that, somebody has suggested that we share the link of this book on Saturdays over the weekend so that they have enough time to read. We will share this because every link we share for the class invite, we attach the text. Apart from what you read here, we attach the text so that you can have prior knowledge of the text. So without wasting my time, permit me to say that I appreciate your presence today. To new members, this is what we do daily. We are not tired of this. We do it every week. So please feel free to join us next week if you like it so that we can continue gaining our understanding. So that's building on our understanding and our thinking. So without much ado, permit me to end the class now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks very much. Good session,
Yes,
guys.
thank you very much.